Hey guys, this is Dave from my Vanguard here with another deck profile for you guys. As you see, it is the Dimensional Robo, the Legion deck with the new stripes. So let's get on to the deck profile. Starting off, I do use the Dimensional Robo die shoots. So at G break 1, put this unit in the soul. Choose up to choose one unit, choose one of your Vanguards. Dimensional Robo, of course, and until the end of turn it gets +4. And additionally, when this unit attack hits, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire. So I mean, it's a pretty staple card for T-plays. You'll just boost it up and give it an extra ability so the opponent is pressured to guard. And of course it goes in the soul, so it'll help with the Legion card I am using in the deck. Going on to the grade 3s, I am running, of course, I'm running one of the best cards that D-Police has. I think Die Kaiser, I'm running 2. I think this card in general is probably one of the best cards that you can run in Dimensional plays. Reason 1, I mean, it's pretty simple. It gives a plus power and a crit, and the opponent guards, you can break it if you drive check a grade 3. I mean, it's a very straightforward card, and of course, I know that people are thinking Break Ride is a very bad card to run, but Die Kaiser is just a different story. And of course, I think worst case you can just ride into him and just keep striding until the opponent puts you in 4 and then just Legion and attacks. I mean, Die Kaiser I run 2, very good card. And then going on to the other grade 3 lineups, I am running 4 of the ultimate Dimensional Robo Great Die Kaiser. So this card is the Legion with, of course, the Great Dayusha. Legion ability, when I drive check a grade 3 when it's Legion, I can break one of their break their one of their guards, and then cannot be hit or nullified. So anything with perfect guards are basically nullified from this point on. So really good card. And then of course the mate is also pretty straightforward. It's a limit break, and it gets the number of soul dimensional robos in the card name is 3 or more, it gets a crit. And of course it is a limit break ability, so I mean it's pretty good. And of course his secondary ability is he gets another crit. He gets another crit if you have 3 legions in the soul. So I mean extra crits are good. And then if you have more than 2 crits on one of these, which I mean they'll both apply. Oh, so one thing, the crits won't stack. It's either his crit or his crit that'll go off. So I mean either way you'll still be doing something. You'll be having extra crit with another Die Kaiser effect. So I mean really effective. So I do run 4 and 3 of it. So basically the boss cards are just nullifying guards, so the opponent can just take big chunk of damage. And then of course this is my preference, but I do run 3 of the Die Fighters 10k. I know it sounds really weird, but I think this card is actually more effective than Die Variant, which I mean I do have, but from opinions, what I heard, I think instead of Die Variant, this card is a better card. I mean Die Variant's a 9k, I mean yeah, the attack, I mean he has an extra ability, but I mean I probably do need the counter blast anyways, and I have no space to use his counter blast. So I do prefer the Die Fighter, and if you do ride it, it's more defensive. So I mean it's easier to guard against their the opponents just try to sack you the first few games. So I think Die Fighter is a really good card to run. And then of course I do run the 4 Die Jets. So ability G break 1, turn 1. So you can only use it once per turn. Choose the grade 3 Dimensional Robo and put from your drop to the top of your deck and shuffle. Give Vanguard +4 and an extra ability if it hits. Cannon Blast 1 and draw a card. So I mean it's a really good card because now you can sack grade 3s back into the deck. I mean really straightforward. Basically it's telling you use Great Die Kaiser with this deck because we give you a card that you can use it with. And then of course I do run the 12k attackers, 4 of them. Pretty simple reason, just extra attacks. I mean just able to hit Vanguards that are 11k. So I mean really straightforward card. And then of course it's a Dimensional Robo. Going on to the grade 1 lineups, of course I know most people run Die Tigers, but I do like the Lions better, the Limit Break enablers. These are really effective, my opinion wise, because one, it can unlock the Dayusha's effect, and then two, it unlocks Die Kaiser's effect. So I mean, for these two reasons, I think the Lion is really good in general. So I mean, preferably I would run 4 of it, just because that it will give the opponent a threat saying, hey, I can use the ability even if I'm not at Limit Break. So I mean, it just kind of cancels that out, and the opponent gets scared and they start guarding. So I mean, really good card. Probably the best card for D-Police in general. I am running 4 of the Perfect Guards, if I can find the other one. Here it is. So I am running 4 of the Perfect Guards. I do run the Dimensional Robo one. There's no reason, but against decks like Dragonic Overlord, the End, or the Cross, this card is really effective, and honestly, I don't really need that much Counterblast. I mean, I can still use him, it's more effective, and I like it better. And then, since English doesn't ban him to 1, might as well join the hype train and run 3 Commander Laurels. I was going to run 4, but I think running 4 just clogs it up really too much. I mean, I guess running 4 won't be bad because you'll see it more often, and then it'll bait out more cards from the opponent, but I mean, 3 is good enough in my opinion wise. So I do run 3, really good. He is the reason why Dimensional Police is really broken at the moment with Stride. Commander Laurel. For those of you guys that don't know what Commander Laurel does, he's really broke. When a Dimensional Robo Vanguard hits, so it doesn't have to be the Vanguard, it can be the rear guard as well. You can rest 4 of the Dimensional Police rear guards and restand the Vanguard. So really broke. Free restand. And then of course I run 2 of these Stride Enabler just so I can stride often. So I think this card I like for that reason. I can just stride easier and just pressure the opponent. And then the trigger lineups. I know a lot of people run different trigger lineups. I know they run stands and draws. But for me, for D-Police, I think this is the most effective way to run D-Police. I will run 12 crits. 12 crits is probably the best way to run D-Police, is my opinion. This is personal opinion, but I think it's the most effective way to run D-Police. And then of course I run the 4 heals. I mean, there isn't really combos. It's just that you have a stride unit, attack, have laurels, if it hits, attack for the rear guard, try to restand it, get more drive checks, attack the Vanguard with crits, you know, very simple. Oh, of course, I do have to go over what I am running for stride. I do run the 2 X-Tigers, really effective card, really good early game, of course. I only run 2 because I know it is really good, but I don't think there's a reason to run more because they have an extra card that you can run. So I mean, 2 X-Tigers really good. And then of course I do run 4 of the Great Dyers. Dyers is really good. It just gives you a free search. So I mean, you'll have cards out. You'll call Die Jet, Die Dragon, start attacking, and then of course it helps Laurel a lot because it will just give you free cards and then you can Laurel. So really good card. I do run 4 because it's pretty good, and you'll just unflip its copy to activate its effect. So really good. I run 1 X-Rogue. X-Rogue is for early game where you just want to, if you don't want to use X-Tiger's effect, you'll attack with Rogue for you know, 36, depending on what you have behind. And then the last card I run is the Dark Superman Omega. Really good card in general. You'll just, it minuses the opponent. So I mean, if you have counterblast left, or if you don't use Dyer's skill, you'll just minus the opponent, swing, and they can't really do much. It's a really good finisher. So I do run 1 of the Dark Supermans. So that's pretty much it for my deck profile. I mean, D-Police is really straightforward deck, what to run and what you have to use. I mean, that's pretty much what I have for the deck profile. Hope you guys comment, rate, subscribe down below, and I will try to post more matches with this. And like always, guys, imagine the victory. I am Vanguard.